Kip's Corner. Welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. Today I am going to do a flip through of my finished Musically Inclined journal. So Musically Inclined, I was not really able to record a lot of the making of this journal, but she is done and has taken me a minute to get done. But I'm ready to get started. Well, I'm ready to show her to you for one thing, and then just get started on the next one. I will be listing this in my Etsy shop at the same time, simultaneously as I post this video. So if you're watching this video, she is available in my Etsy shop. So this is Musically Inclined. The outside cover is a fabric. It's a dark blue with some greens and grays, just some really pretty stripes through it. The front, there's a lace panel in the back, and then this is just a piece that I created and affixed on top. There's crackle paste and this brick wall back here. These are resin pieces that I poured from a mold. It's actually a piece, it's a single piece here from a mold. And then I used black gesso on top with Finnabair waxes, not just Finnabair actually, I think I have a couple different brands, but Metalique and other waxes on top to create the color that you see here and that look. And then I've got some metal corners here and here. On the side, I just have a little dangle with these beautiful beads. Let me see if I can get up nice and close. Gorgeous, gorgeous beads. And I can link the shop that I've gotten most of these from. She has a beautiful selection. And then I've left the back plain. I just love this fabric, and it's so soft to touch that I thought that worked. On the side, I opted to do something a little different here with two ties to close her, mostly just because she's so tall. The sari silk I've used here is from a shop called Color Burst Silk, and I can put that link in down below as well. So to open her, you just untie her. Just two little bows here. Now you could, if you don't like the way this ties, you could absolutely take this off. You could take one of them off and just wrap this around. You know, if you wanted to, whoops, like so, and then tuck, you could do that. You could play with how you use this sari. I've got plenty of sari silk on here, but it's simple to just pull and untie her. I say simple as my sari gets, there's so much sari here. I wanted there to be plenty in case you did want to do like a wrap or something like that. So let's get into her. Okay, per my norm, I have a pocket here on the inside front cover that is made from a vintage handkerchief, and the same pocket as in the inside back cover. This particular handkerchief was very delicate, very old, very delicate, and so I didn't want to overload either of the pockets. So all I've done is just added a very lightweight, it's a chipboard tag. There's just, whoops, got a little something back there. There's just, it's just black gesso on the back with some ink on the front and a little, this is actually a puffy sticker that I painted and waxed, and just a little bit of paper. This is the corner of a vintage doily. These little pieces back here are from the spine of a book that I gutted, and then a vintage button. So she just slips right in there. This image is an actual image from Chatterbox, from an late 1800s copy of Chatterbox that I had. Chatterbox was a magazine for children, and I've got several copies. The illustrations in them are absolutely gorgeous, and so that's what this is from. This first page of the first signature has been waxed, so it has that nice, smooth, sort of waxy feel. And I've got a little dangle here that is a music, is that a treble clef? I'll double check. It's a treble clef. Beautiful piece of trim here. And then this first page, this is texture paste that is just through a splattery stencil. I wanted to add a little bit of it, pull some of this copper color from the front into the journal a little bit, add a little bit of texture, a little fun. You can, of course, still write on this page. And there's another one of those puppies that was painted and waxed. Piece of ledger paper here that is, I've reinforced this with some fabric in the spine because it is from an older ledger, but the handwriting is just gorgeous. So I thought it would be a nice little addition. And I've just folded it over here. It's from 1884. And the printouts, the digital kit, I used 2 kits, one from 49 and Market, actually 3. I used a kit from 49 and Market from Manu Designs, and I used some digital papers also from Manu Designs on Etsy, and I will link that shop below as well. And then I've also used a Stamperia pad that is the music, and I'll put a link to that as well so you can see the pad that's in there. Then there's printouts in here from the Graphics Fairy and from Mrs. Cog's Crafts. Some of these beautiful images with people playing instruments are from Mrs. Cog's Craft. And off the top of my head, that's all I can remember. But as I flip through here, all the links to everything I used, I will try to put below. Okay, first off, I just have a little sewn tuck here. And with an instrument, this is backed with some mulberry paper. And then this is just a little envelope that is not sealed. It opens all the way up. And this is from that Stamperia pad. So that tucks right in there. This is a page from an old German music. I think it was a little kind of a mini hymnal. And so that's in German. Page from there. This was an old, blank, I don't know what this paper's called, but where you write music. Here, see? And the person had actually written some music. And so this is a piece from that pad that I had. A little piece of parchment paper. Here's a little tuck. And this is an old flashcard, a subtraction flashcard that I've just created this little collage on here where I've got, let's see, am I too close? Just got some sewing down here, some paper, obviously some piece of sheet music, a little bit of lace and a vintage button tucked there. And then this just, you can write on the back, and I've put more of that music paper on the back. And that just tucks right up in there, like so. This is from the Stamperia pad. This is just a ruffle made with a ribbon. It was a wire-edged ribbon, and I didn't want the wire on there. So instead of just pulling the wire out, I actually ripped the edge off. And so I got this nice sort of grungy frayed edge fabric and made a couple ruffles from them. That's from the Stamperia pad, and I just added a little cluster down here at the bottom. There's another one of those, or a die cut, no, not die cut, a fussy cut. A fussy cut instrument, button, a little bit of doily, some sewing. This tag in the back here is from Tracy Fox Love Junk Journals. On her Facebook page, she posts freebies periodically, and these tags were a freebie that I got from her, and then that's just a piece of scrapbook paper. And then I think actually some of these background pages that I use with the lines in them are also from Love Junk Journals. This is an old, it says, it doesn't have a year. It says February 23. So I don't know if that, February 23rd, but it's this beautiful handwriting. And then it looks like somebody did some math and pencil on top of it. I left all of that, left it as is, and just added it in here as a pocket. And then this is a little tag that I've made tall, very tall tag with some sewing on it. And the foreground here is a napkin, and it's just backed with some craft paper, a little sari on the top. Just makes a nice little tag, more parchment paper. There's the other half of that handwritten music paper and the other half of the hymnal in German. if I can turn the page here. And here's another page. This is this background is a printout from that Manu Designs. And then more sheet music. This is an image that I transferred onto fabric. I was really more just playing, just to see if I could get it to work. It's a little piece of canvas that I put this image on. Believe the image is from one of the kits from Mrs. Cog's Crafts. And yeah, and then I just sewed it on. It's not a pocket, it's more like a patch on here. And then just a few printouts. This is from the Stamperia pad. And oh, I don't remember which one that's from. That might be from Graphics Fairy. I'm not sure. I'll double check. Those just, I just have those tucked in there. Back side of the paper, back side of the ledger, back side of the coffee dyed paper, and then this is the last page of the first signature, and this is that page that is also, that whole piece is waxed. From here, this is from the Stamperia pad, and I've got a little, just a little bulb pin on here with some beads, some blue beads to sort of pull some of that blue color in. This is a fabric, like a clothing tag that I've just put on here. I thought the colors worked nice. Another image from one of the kits that I had here to create the tuck spot. And then the instruments. This is another one that's backed with the mulberry paper, and then the rest. This one is just plain so that you can write on the back of that. Isn't that pretty? This is glassine paper that I just threw some stain on, Patty Pockets stain, just playing around, and I liked the grungy, sort of the grungy look from it, and of course, loved the sound. Here's another pocket that's just a little collage with some music paper and the scrapbook paper and another image, little sewing here. And then it's a double pocket. So in the front, I've just got a little tag from that Stamperia pad. And it slips right in there. And in the back, I just have another journal card that has a blank back that you can write on. This is it's Informed Crews Works Together Safely. It's just a New York Central Systems. I like the lines on here. I thought they'd be good to add in there. More tea-dyed paper. And then this is another long tag. This is the ABCs of Music. Created a little belly band with that printout. And then this is also, let's see, this is a napkin up at the top. Scrapbook paper, another one of those tags from Tracy, from one of her freebies. Some of just the edge of a doily and a little button there. And then it's backed with, there's the doily piece coming around, and then it's backed with craft paper so that you can still write on it. More tea-dyed paper. Here's some more stenciling, that same stencil. That's just, like I said, it's a splattery sort of stencil. And this is a little Tim Holtz clip that I have this envelope clipped on here. And this was also created, this is two different pieces of trim. This is bottom pieces from a doily, the top piece is from new trim. And then this bottom is a napkin, and the whole thing with wonky sewing around the edge, backed with craft paper on the inside, and then the outside was made with player piano paper roll. That, you can't have a music-themed journal without using at least a little bit of player piano paper roll. But I do have this envelope that I made that I thought was cute that I put in there, and I've just got that slipped right there on the edge and just clipped with this little clip just to keep it in. Keep it from falling out. This is the back half of that glassine paper. Here's just another little cluster with another little tuck pocket here with button. This was also from Tracy's freebie. It's just I've got this fabric on the edge, and it's just a mini little ephemera journal. I've got a guitar pick in here, a ticket, a couple of faux tea cards, another vintage ticket back there, and just tucked in there, just a couple of fun little things that you can add to. More of that handwritten music paper, more of the music note ruffle. And then this is just a short piece. It's a nice textured, pebbly textured paper. I like the way that worked. And that's the end of the second signature and the beginning of the third. And then this is another little cluster here with some vintage handkerchief. And then all of the signatures, the front and back pages of the first page of the signatures, all have lace on the edge of them. The lace is not vintage. Here's a page with that same napkin that I made the tag from earlier in the book. And I just used it on the page there. And another pocket with a couple more pieces inside. This says it's a parlor organ. This is like the cover of a music book that I just left blank on the back. And then this is another card from the Stamperior pad where you can write notes on. And those just slip right in there. Next up, we have more paper, more of that music paper. This is a little, I think this was from the Graphics Fairy. It's the scales the scales and signatures. And it's blank on the back so that you can write on it. And I just have it clipped in here. Again, with another one of those little baby mini Tim Holtz clips. I love those. Here's another piece of that vintage ledger paper. And again, I've got it edged with fabric to give it some stability. Just fold it over. The handwriting is so pretty. This is a little tuck pocket. This particular piece right here was from the cover of some sheet music that I thought it was just the edge. You know, I think it created a square. But anyway, that was from the cover of some sheet music. And then there's just a few pieces in here. Another journal card and another little instrument. This is the third one in this series where they're backed with the mulberry paper. And so those all go together. And then this is just another piece of that card from, I think it goes that way. No, I think I was right the first time. I think it goes that way. Doesn't matter. You can put it in there however you want. Do you? More tea-dyed paper, another piece of that hymnal in German. This is another image from the Chatterbox. They're all these, and these are the actual images. I haven't scanned them, they're not printouts, they're the real McCoy. And so they just have this really nice feel. And I thought that was adorable with those two men playing their instruments. More tea-dyed paper, more printout from the digital. That's the back of the hymnal paper. And that's the back of the ledger. And here's another one of those tea-dyed pages with some stencil rolling through it. Then over here I have this postcard. I've just got it on here clipped with a mini paper clip. And it's almost too wide, but I didn't want to cut it down at all. But I thought it was an appropriate postcard. So you just have to be careful when you flip the page. Another little cluster here. Got some piano keys, another one of those tags from Tracy in the background. And this is just a cluster of cheesecloth and a couple of different edges of a doily and a handkerchief, vintage buttons, some sewing all around. And another one of those fabric tags and more parchment paper. And then this is just a tuck spot here that I've got a few pieces in from the Stamperia pad. And then these are faux tea cards. I'll have to look. I will post where I got these from. I know one of the sets was from, I think, the Graphics Fairy. I'm not sure about the other set. And then this just has a little charm on it with it looks like a violin. Small enough, I think, to be a violin. Now, on the two charms that are here, the treble clef and the violin, they were originally silver. And the bright silver just didn't work for me with the tone of the journal. You know, the other metal colors that I used, it just wasn't working. And so I painted them with black gesso, and then I went over them with a vintage gold metallic wax, and that wax will seal the gesso. Now, I'm not promising that they won't rub a little bit eventually, but I think that'll just help give them some charm. Get it? Charm for the charms. So yeah, that's what I did there. And then in the back, this back cover, inside back cover here is more music paper. And then this isn't music necessarily, but it was just, I loved the gold color. And I have no idea how old this is. Actually, I thought I did figure it out. Here it is, 1887. It was printed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the rest is in German. So it was printed in the United States, probably for a German community. And I'm guessing it looks like a religious, like a prayer book, maybe? I don't know. Somebody who knows German might be able to tell me what that says. I did look it up at one point. But anyway, the little cherubs on the front, I felt like went with this. It just felt like this piece needed to be with this journal. So I tucked it back here in this back pocket where it can just sit and live its life. So that's it. That is the musically inclined journal. Let me get my sorry silk out of the way. And I hope you've enjoyed this. Oh, I have a ruler here. I meant to do this at the beginning. Okay, she's we're going to call it 4 7/8, a little more than 4 3/4, but not quite 5 inches wide. And she's 10 inches tall. So say 4 3/4 by 10 inches. And so it's a nice, keep holding your hand kind of, I just love the size. It's a really nice size. It's a unique one. I don't think I've done one quite this size before. I have done some tall, skinny ones, but they were a little different. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. She was fun to make, and she, among all of the other chaos that was going on, it was nice to have a project that was living, albeit a little bit longer than I wanted her to be under construction, much like my renovation of my house, taking much longer than I wanted it to. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your support. If you're watching this and you're not a subscriber, if you would consider clicking that little subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. And thanks again for joining me, and I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.